Hey everyone, and welcome to episode numero uno, number one of the Visto vlog. We are going to be doing a live in the future, but video recording and tracking of the process as Visto, I'll do a bit more of a discussion in just a second, goes through the process of sponsoring my now good friend and colleague, Andres Vargas, on the work permit application process to Canada. Andres, first of all, good morning, sir. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Hey Josh, good morning. How is going?
It's going well. I think we're both excited for this because the work permit and immigration process can be a confusing one, a stressful one. And so what we wanted to do as we're going to go through the process is share the journey. So really quickly, let's do an introduction. Do you want to introduce yourself first, Andreas? Just a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, of course. Let me introduce myself. I'm a computer science. I have a bachelor and a master degree in computer science. I'm Mexican. I live very near from Cancun, Quintana Roo. I'm live in Merida, Yucatan. This is in a very near place from Cancun. Not only for your idea for where I live. I'm Mexican. I love Mexican food. Uh, my background in the part of technology is focused on the back end and a little on the front end. I have a lot of experience doing Python technologies, but right now we are building a lot of stuff in TypeScript. So I'm very excited to talk in this first chapter.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that too, because I distinctly remember as part of the interview process, I don't know anything about the technologies, right? And Alex was saying that you have experience in some, but not other. And so we'll talk about both sides of how that interview process went. To give a little bit more backstory to the story we want to tell here is so my name's Josh Schachnow. I'm based out of Toronto, Canada, the CEO of Visto.ai. We're an immigration tech platform that helps companies find tech workers from around the world and bring them to their Canadian office. And we're going to tell the story of number one, how Andreas and I came to even be in touch and meet electronically, how that ended up leading to us hiring Andreas remotely. And we're going to walk you through the work permit process as we, Visto as a company, sponsor Andreas and bring him and relocate him to Canada, which I'm really excited about. I've been practicing in immigration law for the last 5 years, so we'll shed some light on the immigration side as well. And we're just going to kind of share the story along the way so that developers or tech workers or any skilled workers from abroad will hopefully take a lot from Andreas' story and learn from his experience. And Canadian employers can hopefully learn a lot from what we're doing here at Visto to understand the benefits of hiring foreign developers. So let's get into the first topic for this episode, Andres. We're really going to focus on the story of how we met, how our employment arrangements started. And then in future episodes, what we'll do is we'll talk about things like picking the right immigration program, preparing the immigration documents, getting you ready to travel to Canada, getting you settled in Canada. We're going to cover all that stuff as well. Let's start from the beginning, though, Andres. Talk about
Wow, begin.
talk about your interest in moving to Canada, and what was it like when you first started looking into getting a job in Canada with Canadian companies?
Well, when I take the big decision to, okay, let's move myself and my family to another country, and I start looking for another countries, my first and only objective was Canada. Okay,
Hmm.
because they are very welcoming to the foreigners. There are great things in that country. So, like a Mexican, well, start my journey from the beginning. Where's the beginning? The source, and the source is the Canadian website. No, I'm gonna start looking for the Canadian website. What is the rules? Which are the rules for immigrate to Canada? And I start looking, and I start looking for what is the ways to get there. Okay, and well, by the way, I discovered well one way is the through a job offer way. So I'm gonna start looking companies who are interested in my kind of profiles. Yes, I'm gonna start, for example, in LinkedIn and in Indeed, start searching companies who likes the my profile of the technology, like a Python developer, no? And when I start sending emails, start moving there, no? When you start receiving calls, I see a lot of rejections. Yeah, and it's not because my profile are not attractive. It's because I found a lot of situations where the company don't want higher immigrations or don't know how higher immigration, the knowledge of the immigration a foreigner. Okay, and
Hmm.
that kind of company start losing getting the best talent outside the Canada, no? So, well, that's my first struggle is start finding companies who start, okay, Andres, I like your profile, but I don't know how get it you here. So
Right.
that's the struggle I found. Okay.
Yeah,
But,
and we see that a lot, right? Is
yeah,
I think
exactly.
there's like two important, really important points you made. Like number one is most Canadian companies, it's not even necessarily that they're against hiring foreign workers. It's that they don't understand how the immigration process works. And so they're most likely intimidated by it, rightly so, because when you go on the government website, it can be very confusing. And so there's an education gap there almost, where if we can tell companies the process and do it for them, maybe they'd be more willing to. And the second part is that, like you said, Canada's a very small country, right? There's not even, I think there's a little less than 40 million people in Canada. And there's, millions and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of great tech workers and other skilled workers around the world. So what we see now is more and more companies are open to either remote work or they're becoming more open to sponsorship because they realize the best tech, there's amazing tech workers in Canada, but if we want to make the world our oyster, we need to change our thinking and open our eyes to developers from Mexico, from Brazil, from India, from et cetera, et cetera. And that's what we're trying to do, right, with our platform is make it easier. So let's talk about the first time that we reached out or that you reached out.
Yes,
Let's
I
talk about
introduced.
how you found our website and then what led you to sending that email, which we'll actually share in just a minute.
Yes, with this struggle in the companies. Well, I start thinking, okay, how can I help the company? How can I okay, said something can give me the second step, no? Because I do the interviews, I pass the interviews but when I say I'm Mexican, I live in Mexican, everything ends there, no?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm start thinking, okay, I need someone can help me, okay? When I go to the interview, I try to set a company. I have someone can help me, okay, and help you to get in me myself in Canada, okay. So they I'm start looking for someone, no? And I found a little person and a lawyer in the internet who started doing a lot of videos related how to hire a tech element in Canada, and that person was Josh. And I found Josh through a video talking directly about the GTS. Mhm. He started talking about the GTS, how is the requirements, what's the requirement from the company. And I said, okay, this person knows the process very well. Have I see if he had the experience hiring foreigners in the tech technology, in the tech area. Well, I will send an email and see what happened. And that was my first email to Josh,
Yeah,
asking a little help.
let me bring it up on screen here too, because it's I don't know if you guys can read this. Oh, here I can expand it. So here's your first email. Hi, Josh. My name is, it's kind of crazy. This was June 27th, 2020. So this was
2020, man.
almost 2 years ago, year and a half ago. Hi, Josh. My name is Andres Vargas. I had seen your YouTube videos, all related to immigration. Well, I'm Mexican and a software engineer looking forward to move to Canada. For this objective, I applied for a lot of jobs without success. But I found cases of the Canadian companies like my profile, but without help from an immigration consultant, they reject me because HR personnel have to deal with immigration. So I was looking for some immigration consultant who will be available to help that hole that I found in the process. When I found a job offer with that characteristic, I can offer an immigration consultant to solve and deal with the details related to immigration. If you had some comments, they're welcome, and congratulations on Visto.ai. And then we had a little bit of a back and forth. But what I really liked, and we'll go into kind of the next step of the story here, what I like about your approach, Andreas, and this is kind of where initially, like I hear from a lot of people, right? We get a lot of emails and LinkedIn from people who just, hey Josh, help me find a job in Canada. But you took a much more proactive approach, which is, okay, what's the issue here, right? I'm trying to come to Canada. The problem is that companies like my tech background, but they can't navigate the immigration piece. So what you decided to do was say, why don't I find a partner, someone who I can trust, to help them solve the immigration piece so they're more willing to hire me. So I thought it was a really great approach. What that basically started was an ongoing relationship where at the time we were building technology to help immigrants learn about the different processes of coming to Canada. And so what ended up happening was our relationship turned into like a two-way street where once in a while you would ask me immigration questions and once in a while I would ask you tech questions. Hey Andres, what do you think of our new platform? Do you have any UX UI tips? You did some teardowns for us too where you would go through the app and give tips. So what Andreas did that really set him apart, and this will make sense when we talk about the next topic of hiring, is he was very proactive, right? I get dozens of messages a week, either email or LinkedIn or Facebook or DMs. Hey Josh, help me find a job in Canada, right? Help me. And we do want to help as many people as we can. But Andreas, what you did differently was you said, hey, here's an opportunity for you, Josh, to work with me, yes, to help you, but also it helps us, right? Because we want to work and help with companies and help developers. So from there, I'll fill in a little bit of the details here, but basically what happened was about a year, it was probably, a year and a half later. No, about a year, because this was June 2020. So,
It was 2 years ago. Yes,
yeah,
2 years
so about a
ago.
year, so then, I mean, we had back
It's
and forth
happened a lot
for,
of things, Josh. That comes. Yeah, that's only the first coach, and you
right.
reject me, man.
Well, at the time we weren't hiring,
Well,
right?
yes, the situation are very different. You are focused on other things. I'm start looking for a new change. Well, the things not was okay, Andres. We can help you, but there are other person. Well, the things not. Remember, don't stop there because when I send that email, Josh, I don't know Visto platform and the right and at the moment.
Right.
When I start viewing your videos, okay, I'm signing up in the Visto platform, and I
Mm,
found that information is very useful. Okay, and the information in the Visto platform, with Visto platform, we have a platform for help with more information to the foreigners to land into to Canada. And I see a specific part talking about the work permits. And in that part, you have a video talking about uh, there are, for example, the quote is, there are no analysts or companies who hire
mm,
immigrants. No? And I think, well, when I found that video and emailed the second email was that, what was this? Is Federatas. Federatas is in a correction in a video in Spanish. Uh, and I said in the video, Josh, yes, exists a list of companies who hired immigrants in the past.
Hmm.
And that is the second one. And that is the
Right.
beginning of our side project called LMIA.work. Okay,
Right. I remember
right?
that because we had a guide on how to find jobs in Canada with a video, as you mentioned. And I remember saying, because I would get asked, hey, Josh, is there a list of companies that hire foreign workers? And I said, no, I don't know about a list. And so, Andreas, what you did was you built a tool that scrapes the government data. The government shares the information. For those who haven't maybe seen our list or our website, I'll mention in just a second. The government posts a list of all the companies in Canada that have sponsored foreign workers, organized with their addresses and the NOC code that they're sponsoring. That's really helpful, right? Because if you're a tech worker,
Right.
you're a farmer, you're whatever, you can sort through that list and look for companies that have sponsored for your occupation before. The problem was it was hidden in the back of the government website. I didn't even know it existed at the time, and you couldn't really sort very
Nobody.
well. So what Andreas did was scraped it and created a website. You can now find it at lmia.work. We'll link to it in the description of the YouTube video. And you can now search through the list, type in your NOC code, and you can find all the companies that have sponsored LMIAs. And like you said, Andreas, that's what really sparked our kind of like friendship, really, where we would talk about immigration tech and stuff like that and go back and forth and give each other advice. And now, fast forward, now that we brought you on, the website is live. We promote it all over our Visto website, so it's a really helpful tool. Let's spend the last
Yeah.
section, Andreas, talking about employment, right? So, how did all this come to be? Was over a year later from that first email that you sent to me, Visto did a fundraise, right? So we raised money last summer, the summer of 2021, and we needed to hire one developer. And we wanted to hire a foreign developer because that's what we practice what we preach, right? We recommend that companies find great developers from abroad. You can start working remotely right away, and then you facilitate the work permit to bring them to Canada. Now, what happened was because Andreas and I had spent over a year at that point, emailing back and forth, helping each other, I knew that he was really motivated about coming to Canada, really creative, right? Because I'd seen you build all these tools and give us all this feedback on the website. You were passionate about the company and the brand. So maybe on the next episode, I'll pull up that email chain where we talked about hiring you. But basically, I sent you an email. We didn't post a job. We didn't create a job description. We didn't post a job. I
Yes.
sent an email to you saying, hey, are you interested? And then do you want to maybe talk about what happened next?
Yes. Yes. It was very fun because you have a Facebook group and a community and a Facebook group in Facebook, but about the Visto, huh? And you type an an announcement, no? Hey, we change the mind about how we want to handle immigration techniques instead of. I remember you made an announcement, and the announcement said we must change instead of bringing help to the people. We start trying to get help the companies to bring people to Canada. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
when I said that, when I read it in notification talk to my wife, and I like, hey, uh, Monica is my wife. Look, Josh is changing their pipe in Mexico. It's called a pivot.
Yeah.
He pivot the idea of the platform of Visto, and I start looking for companies. When I say, I'm not talking about it with my wife, boom, an email arrived, and it was an email from Josh from Visto. Hey, Andres, okay. Uh, we have here a situation. Do you interested? And I said without thinking, obviously yes, I go.
Yeah, so a little more context. So until then, we had built a B2C platform for aspiring immigrants to come to Canada. And over the summer, we pivoted, as you said, to help companies find skilled workers to come to Canada. There's a few reasons why we did that. Part of it too was COVID, right? Like we can't help people through express entry during COVID, right? If you're outside of the country. But anyways, that's another topic of discussion.
Another topic, another chapter.
Yeah, but basically this is a bit of a side note, but for the companies out there, I think this is one of the reasons why like building your brand and building a community is so important. Because when we wanted to hire, we didn't have to go post, right? I never posted, right? I never made a LinkedIn job post, Indeed job post. I remember we were talking about hiring, and I was talking to Alex. Alex is our CTO. And I said, why don't we hire someone from the Visto community? And then when I was thinking about, I've been in touch with a few, right, of our users, most of whom tech workers giving feedback. But Andreas, you were the one that stood out. And I said, I wonder if Andreas would want a job. And so I emailed you, and I think within 7 minutes you responded and said yes, yes, yes. And it was pretty quick, right? You and I had a quick call. I think it was 20, 30 minutes. Hey, Andreas, this is an update
Yeah.
about the company. This is what we're thinking of doing. Are you interested? You said, yeah, we had a good conversation. And then maybe talk about, then I handed you off to Alex because I don't know how to do technical vetting. So maybe talk about what was the technical vetting aspect like for you?
Yes, definitely, we have a relationship between the talent and the CEO. But this time, Alex and Josh have to guarantee the the background I had. No? And obviously, I got through a job interview, a complete full job interview, and
Hmm.
I passed it. So
Yeah, I don't want to make it sound
uh,
like we didn't vet you properly, right? We didn't do job posts, but we still put you through an interview process that you passed.
yes,
So I
definitely,
want to give you
definitely.
that credit because you did.
Yes. Well, I have contacted with Alex Gatas. Alex gave me. We have a little chat. Okay. He described. I talked with him and another developer. The developers who is an or architect in the company. Um, they asked me a lot of questions about technology, how you solve this kind of problem, what you think about this technology, which are your tools by the way, day by day, and a lot of technology, like a screen interview. No? Then when the screen interview finished, they assign me a challenge, a home assignment challenge. Okay, that was built on a project, like on a normal project. Okay,
Right.
and
Like
I
a
spent the
coding,
week.
like a coding test kind of thing?
Yes, that's on a coding test.
Right.
Yes, Alex give me, Andres, build this project. Okay, put on production, put on live, and give me our code to review it. Okay, so I spent all my weekend building this project. Okay, make an well, I try to put my best effort there, and I put yeah, just the effort of making all my experience more can be more fit. No? I put all my experience there because I have 10 years of experience. So I have building a lot of websites and a lot of projects by the years. And at the end, I finished the project and I see, okay, it's ready. And I sent to Alex and our architect. And well, they review the project by 1 week, and then I receive a response. Okay, your project is good. Your project is not good. The feed I receive a lot of feedback. That's very important because sometimes the companies don't give you feedback. You have to ask for there.
Hmm.
But Alex gave me feedback, and was very, very happy when I received, oh, we are interested in you, Andres, because you do the exam very well, and the call challenge was successful. We must to talk in the next call, no?
And I think that was the last call where we pretty much just discussed salary, because at that point we were
It
convinced.
comes the offer,
I
yeah.
think there's a few good points there. Number one is, I mean, if someone like you or anyone is going to put hours into a coding exam, the least any company should do is give feedback on how it went, right? So it's kind of crappy to hear that some companies don't. I remember that weekend because we needed to hire and start building quickly, right? And we didn't interview a second person. So there was like a week or two where you were talking with Alex and Mark, and I was just waiting. And I was like, Alex, is he good? Alex, is he good? You know, because I've seen your projects, but I don't know anything, right? And then I remember him saying that because you have a lot of experience in Python, but less experience in one other technology of our stack. And so I didn't know what
Mhm.
that means, but I was just hoping, you were going to be good enough or be able to learn quick enough. And Alex said, yeah. So, I mean, maybe there's another lesson there, right? Like, if you're a Canadian company looking to hire and you find somebody who's excited and motivated and really great, and maybe there's like one little element of your tech stack where there's not full experience, like we've had great experience bringing you on, and you've maybe you can talk a little bit about like I don't even know what technology it was, but what it's been like learning parts of a new stack.
Yes, definitely was not technology. Was I not working day by day in my work like professionally? But I have when you are a worker in technology, you have to start learning the other stuff there
Mm-hmm.
because in sometimes we will need it. Okay, my background is in a Python developer. I'm very focused in open source. I'm a contributor of a lot of open source project there. My GitHub is very well populated, and you can see my contributions to other projects. I have contribution to JavaScript. I have node packages there. But I'm a Python developer. Is you talking about okay? Andreas isn't a cooker, but he builds uh, cakes too. So he's a cooker. Have to know how to build a cake. You know, he's only cook sushi, something like that. So in my background, well, have touched a lot of technology. I have to know not to know everything, but not at a little part here, a little part here, and
Mm-hmm.
that experience helped me to get the challenge finished and win a successful result. No.
Right. Yeah. No, it was, and it's been so now. I think we brought you on early September, or maybe late
September was.
September. Yeah. And
Yes,
now it's January 25th, so it's been about 4.5 months. Things
five
have
months now.
5 months, September,
I think.
October, 5 months. Yep. And things have been going great, and we're now getting ready to start preparing Andreas's work permit application to bring him to Canada. So I want to bring episode one to a close here, Andreas. What I'm going to say is maybe we'll just wrap up with a few key takeaways for both skilled workers who are abroad trying to come to Canada and for companies who are trying to hire. And then I'll kind of wrap up, and we can talk about what's coming next. So, for my opinion, and I'll pass it over to you in a second, I think the key takeaways for talent and for Canadian companies, if you're talent, you need to go way beyond just spam messaging companies for jobs, right? I think the best thing that you did was went a step deeper, which is you realized what the key problem was, right? Hey, the problem isn't my resume. The problem is Canadian companies don't understand immigration. So you went to try and find somebody who could fill that gap and make it a win-win, right? Where you could get hired, the company could learn about immigration, and the lawyer or the consultant could get money from that file, right? That's actually a win-win-win, right?
Yes.
And then you continued to build that relationship eventually with me. And then when the timing was right, the timing was right, right?
Right, right. For example, I'm agree with you. First, I find the first struggle with the company. No, the company didn't know how bring immigrants, how bring the best talent outside the world. Okay. The second is I trying to fix my struggle. The when I found the database of the Canadian government who have the list of all companies who have it hiring immigrants before. Okay, so I fixed my struggle finding a companies. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I go to deep, more deep. Okay, I go to immigrants. I go to the Canadian website. I know all the details of the program because when the human resource asks something, Andres, I don't know how. Oh, hey, lady, uh, you can bring me without LMI with Kuzma, Kuzma string or Kuzma trait
Mm-hmm.
because the blah blah blah. This is the condition I feel. Blah 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 blah. I can complain this one blah blah blah, and then you you are sorry. Yes, you are very complain. You are very you you make the step forward, not only the wish. I wish to be in Canada and working.
Mm-hmm.
You must go forward, and I think is the key because, for example, I live in Mexico, and when I talk, I will work in Canada, and everybody said, yes, I wish to be in Canada in Canada too, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody make the step. Hmm?
Right.
And I
Yeah.
made a step.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think finish, finish or mm, um, made your skills better is a very different because the competence outside is a lot. You have to compete with Canadian, with Indians. We have to compete with another Latin Americans. You have to compete with European people too.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to finish your skill set to
Right.
a degree you can be better than others. May I explain? I'm trying to
Yeah.
may
Yeah.
explain
Well, no.
myself.
Number one, you have to be good at what you do, right? Otherwise,
Yeah,
even if you
exactly.
get like you made it all the way to those interviews with us, and then if you weren't a good dev, you might not have passed, but you did, right? Because number one, you were a good dev. Number two, you did your homework on immigration. Number three, like you said, you took many different creative, I think, actions that gave yourself the
Exactly.
opportunity. So I think that's
Exactly.
amazing. In terms of companies, what I would say too is if you're a Canadian company and you want to hire more tech workers or any workers, um, think outside the box. Learn about immigration, right? Get in touch with Visto. That's what we do, right? Learn about immigration. Learn about the process of leveraging foreign talent and making the world your oyster in terms of foreign talent. Build a community, right? We didn't have to post a job. I had been talking with Andres for over a year, right? It was the easiest recruitment cycle, of all time. Anyways, I think that's it for episode one, Andres. This has been a lot of fun. What we're going to do is, number one, like I said, if you're interested in learning more or getting in touch, check out Visto.ai. If you want to check out Andreas's free tool to find Canadian companies to apply to, go to lmi.work. What we're going to do in the future is continue this journey of actually getting Andreas to Canada. So in subsequent episodes, probably in the next episode, for example, we'll talk about picking the right work permit program, talking about eligibility requirements and stuff like that. Then we're going to talk about actually preparing the application. We'll talk about what documents Andreas needs. Andreas will talk about actually gathering the documents himself, putting them together, filling out the forms, tips on how to do all that stuff. And we'll take you through the journey of bringing Andreas to Canada. Also, I think what we want to do is in the future we'll do these episodes live, so that people can tune in, they can ask questions while we're having this conversation. So make sure you're following us on TikTok at Visto.ai, Instagram, I think it's either Visto.ai or Visto.ai. If you type in Visto.ai anywhere, you should find us on the socials. Follow us or feel free to connect on LinkedIn. I'm Josh Schachnow. He's Andreas Vargas. You can see them spelled out there. And yeah, that's it for me. Andreas, thanks for coming on, and excited for future episodes.
Yes, Josh. Well, the next can be you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mentioned the people who with us. The next can be you. Make your dreams
absolutely.
true.
All right, folks. We'll see you in episode 2. Take care.